from Starr Studios in Denison, Texas, this is Coffee with a Sign Painter, a weekly podcast hosted by sign painter Sean Starr that consists of interviews with other sign painters and some of the customers and characters Sean comes across while running his studio.
Hello, welcome to Coffee with a Sign Painter. For today's episode, I'm going to turn the tables a little bit. I've been interviewed multiple times by filmmaker Nathaniel Day. He first shot a short film on us called Keepers of the Craft. And following that, he did one on a Jesse James chopper that we did in a old 1950s hot rod. And he's currently working on a documentary about the making of the cover art of Toadie's album that I did that's coming out in September. So he was here in the studio, and I forced him to sit down and do this interview with me. And so we're going to talk to him and some of his passion that drove him to want to make some films about sign painting and so Nathaniel Day, filmmaker, here we go.
This is kind of cool for me because I've had to sit there and answer your questions over and over for the last 3 years.
All right.
So now I get to ask you questions.
The tables have turned, definitely.
So, let's talk about the first film that you did on our studio.
Okay.
That was what? So that was 3 years ago?
It was 3 or 4 years ago, yeah.
Okay. So, what prompted that? I've always kind of wondered, why you were motivated to hunt us down to do that.
Yeah, so I was in documentary class when I was in film school, and I needed a subject, so I actually typed in Mom and Pop in Dallas. Just that, Mom and Pop Dallas. And you're the first one that came up, and I was like, well, maybe I can contact this guy, but he looks kind of like an elite artist, I don't know if he's really going to give me the time of day. And I called, and you're on board, and 4 years later, we're still doing videos,
Yeah, and I think I've told you this, but when you actually called me for the first time, I had not even gotten to Texas. I had just changed our website. So I was in New Mexico, and Kaylee and I had just stayed in some Motel 6 or something. And you had called, and I was like, oh, well, this is cool. The guy wants to make a film about us. So when we got to Denton, we had already had everything set up to open our studio in the basement of Jupiter House Coffee, because I knew Joey, the owner, from a few years previously. And their pipes started leaking. So when we showed up in Denton, there was 8 inches of water in that space.
Yeah, that was a cool little space you were in.
So why did you want to do a film on sign painting?
Well, I was looking for inspiration for documentaries, and I had seen a film by filmmaker Danny Cook. He did with, I think it was David Smith.
Yeah.
And I had seen that video, and that's kind of my inspiration. That was my inspiration, and that's kind of why I wanted to do the videos, because I seen that video and I was like, oh, well, that was my first Google search when I searched sign painting,
that video that he did was gorgeous.
Yeah, and really I don't know what I wanted to do, It's I said, I Googled the Mom and Pop, and you came up, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a really good documentary, that I could take away from school, because that's what I like to do is documentary films. And, I contacted you, and that's how I...
And you were at the Art Institute of Dallas at the time, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what did that lead to? I know that you've done several other shorts on us. And the reason you're in the studio today is because you're doing some more footage for the making of the new Toadie's album cover that I did the artwork for. How has I've been wondering how has shooting these different projects of the sign painting, and then you did the project with the Jesse James chopper that I did. Has that like affected or influenced how you shoot film?
Yeah, it has, because I mean, really, a majority of the stuff that I shoot is usually processes and documentaries. You know, I've shot people in the studio making albums. I recently worked on a piece of Gladys Knight S1. You know, really, the sign painting thing, the video that we made, kind of pushed me in the direction of, you know, doing documentaries rather than narrative. You know, that's a majority of what I do is documentaries. So I think that a lot of it was from, you know, I did the documentary with you. I mean, I think that's where it all kind of started, you know, and that's kind of where I get my influence.
Yeah, and that video's been received really well. I mean, the numbers on how many views and everything since that's been released have just been
people
crazy.
love it.
Yeah,
They
so
love
I wanted to thank you for seeking us out, because
thank you,
I think that definitely has helped us in communicating like who we are and what we do, and you made a beautiful film.
Thanks, man. I mean, that's kind of the idea, you know. It's like, after I worked with you, that's kind of what I wanted to do, is make documentary films for artists, you know, to help them get noticed and exposed, you know, give them some exposure.
Well, you made us look way better than we are, so that's appreciated.
No, you guys are great. Yeah, but thank you. Like, I try to, you know, so.
Well, cool. So, what are your feelings on you've heard the new Toadies album, and I know you're a huge Toadies fan, so this was a really cool thing that this all came together for you to shoot the documentary. Like, it's a departure from, you know, their typical sound. So, like, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I like it. I've heard the demo. I like it. I prefer the older stuff because it's what I grew up with, you know. I remember riding around with my dad in the summertime, going to the movie theaters, you know, in Indiana. You know, I'd visit him and I'd hear the Toadies, and like, I think because of those reasons I like the old stuff, just because it means something to me.
Right.
But the new stuff is great. I mean, I think it's going to be a good album. I would say, though, I prefer the old stuff a little bit.
Yeah, and that's okay. We have no commercial endorsement from them, so we can say we hate it if we hate it.
Right.
So you're originally from Louisiana, right?
No, I'm originally from the Austin area.
Okay,
here in Texas.
okay.
Born and raised in Texas.
All right, cool.
My parents had retired and went to Louisiana. They had some land there, so that's where they went after they retired out of the Air Force.
So you're definitely a Texas dude.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, all right.
Like, no other choice. That's the only option.
Have you been down to Austin recently? It's insane. There's like 8
crazy.
gazillion cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's all it is like roads and cars and heat. I haven't been down there. I drove through a few months ago. That's all I did was drive through. I was going to San Antonio. But yeah, I don't really go down there. I prefer Dallas. Dallas is my new home.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of weird. I just did a project at a tattoo shop down in Bishop Arts, and man, it's like 10 to 15 degrees hotter down there than it is here. It's like you drive, as soon as you hit like Plano, anything like that, it's like, oh, and there's no AC in our work truck, so it's a beating.
Yeah, it's mad hot.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So we were talking earlier. I like to talk about what people are watching on Netflix and listening to music and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And you were telling me about a show that you said that Kaylee and I need to watch. What was that?
Oh man, there's a lot of shows you guys should watch, but I've recently been watching. I have a 9-month-old daughter, and my wife had started watching Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started watching Parenthood with her, and at first I was like, I don't know about this show. It seems kind of like a chick flick, but a TV show. I started watching this really good.
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie?
Parenthood?
Yeah, there's a movie I think it's in the early to mid 90s that came out. I think Ron Howard directed it.
I remember.
I think that's what the
Parenthood.
show's based on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the movie, but the show is great. And if it is based on the movie, then it's got to be.
Yeah,
a good movie.
the movie's really good. It's one of the had Keanu Reeves in it. I remember that. And he only knows one role, so it's just basically him being him.
Right.
And then the chick, I think she was in Goonies. Remember Goonies?
Mm-hmm.
And now she's the mom on. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So Logan's showing us on his iPhone that yes, Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Yeah. But
Oh, it looked like Steve Martin was.
oh
in
yeah,
there.
he was in that. Yeah. You should check out the movie. The movie was great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Anything with Steve Martin in it is pretty good.
Yeah, he doesn't miss
Pretty
too
funny.
often. So, like, you as a filmmaker, like, what's your movies? Like, I think every filmmaker's probably got their, like, top movies that are influenced them or that they just love.
Like I was saying before, is like I like to consider myself a documentary filmmaker. I prefer watching documentaries.
So what are a couple of documentaries you're like, dang, they nailed it?
Oh man, right now I've seen two. There's two short documentaries that I really like. One I recently seen was called Denali. It was about a guy and his dog. But as far as like feature, I don't really know. I just enjoy documentaries. I don't really.
I'm changing the name of this episode to Beer with a Sign Painter.
Oh, nice.
Because our
nice.
AC is broken today and it's so stinking hot that we decided to drink beer while we're working. So
That's what you got to do.
yeah. So I mentioned this documentary I saw on an episode a week or two ago when I was talking to Derek McDonald. There's a documentary on Netflix called This Ain't No Mouse Music. You familiar with that?
No, I haven't.
Super cool.
I don't think I even
Yeah,
heard
check
of
it out. It's really awesome. About this guy that just went out and started recording all over Louisiana and Texas. He just find like these hole-in-the-wall places or even people's front porch and record them doing their music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Can you find this on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Nice. I'll check that out.
So I know you're a big music fan too, and you used that Gary Clark song in the video when I'm working on the Jesse James Chopper. Like, what's your what do you listen to?
Oh man, right now I'm listening to Leon Bridges. He's I believe that he got kind of noticed at South by a little bit back, but his music is kind of.
Is he in Fort Worth?
Yeah.
I saw something about him on Fort Worth Barbershops.
Right,
feed.
he was doing some music around the area, I guess in Fort Worth, and then he was at South by, and then that's kind of when he started blowing up. But his music is like sounds like some music from like the 40s, the 50s. Like, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, I saw his album cover, and it looks totally like it's straight out 1963 or something. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome. So that's what I'm jamming to right now. I mean, I listen to everything. I'm not really into metal.
Yeah.
You know? So chill rock is cool. You know, country's good. I listen to a little hip hop every now and then. But for the most part, it's whatever I'm in the mood for that day. You know.
Yeah.
It's like,
so you've got this Toadies thing that I'm sure you guys still got a couple months working on it before the release of the album, but doing the editing and everything. But what's on the horizon? Like, what are you looking at shooting next?
anything and everything. Now,
You got anything slated, or are you just going to see what pops up?
well, we have a few music projects that we have coming out this year, including the Toadies. We've got an S1 Glass Night piece. We have some Guitar Slayer pieces. We're trying to move.
What's the deal with Gladys Knight? What are you doing with that?
She's got a new album coming out.
Okay.
And I was working with shooting some video with the producer that was producing some of the beats and some of the the music for the album.
Okay.
So it's just kind of in a process video showing in the studio of how it goes down, you know. And
is she in Dallas area or something?
no, I believe she's in LA, but S1 Symbolic One, he's here in Dallas.
Okay. And he's the producer?
Yeah, he's the
I'm
producer.
totally ignorant of contemporary music, so.
Yeah, I want to say he's a producer on some of them, maybe not all the tracks, but I know he's producing some of the tracks on the album. And he's just, you know, producer. He's just, you know, he's creating the beats, you know, making the drums and the bass, you know.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and I mean...
So you're telling me, too, you get to travel occasionally, you get to go down to somewhere and shoot for a week a couple times a year?
Yeah, I have a corporate level job that I do, as well as I'm part owner of a media company. But for the corporate level job, they send me, you know, they'll send me to like Cancun to shoot little vacation.
That sounds terrible.
Right. I mean, people go vacation, and I'll just kind of document it.
Yeah.
More documentary stuff, you know, basically.
Yeah, one thing I've always thought was cool from the very beginning when we started working on this stuff was you work with your family
Right,
on a lot
right.
of these projects. Your
Right.
wife is also a film editor?
She was a most part director. She does a lot of directing and writing.
Okay.
Since we had the baby, though, she's been doing the mom thing, you know.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. And then your brother Logan, who's here
Yeah.
lurking around looking at things. He's
He's my younger brother. Yeah, he went to film school as well.
come say hello, Logan.
He graduated to
66 countries. Tell them hello.
Hey, everybody. Most of these things understand me, but
yeah, we work. Me and him work together quite a bit. I mean, he's kind of my right hand. You know, and yeah, I mean it's just kind of me and him that do a lot of the work, and our business partner. You know, we try to keep a small crew. You know.
Yeah, sure.
So we can
Lean and mean.
get in and get the job done, because a lot of, I mean, I don't do a lot of narrative, you know, so I can work really light, you know, coming and hanging out with you. And
You told me too. You told me last time, and then you mentioned again today that you've got a drone.
yeah, we have
Like what's the deal with that? It's kind of freaky.
the drone.
Yeah.
Oh, we have the drone, so we can just get aerial shots and, you know, all those cool sky shots and overhead shots. I mean, it's just.
Do you have to have like a license to fly a drone, or how does that work?
I don't know if you. I mean,
That's
we just
awesome that you
kind
don't
of-
know.
Yeah, we kind of just. We just.
You
go
just do
for
it?
You know,
Yeah.
it's
No,
like
that's
hope
cool.
we don't get caught. You know.
Yeah, that's even better.
Really, that's how we do it. We just go out and do it. But at the same time, we're not flying over people. We're not flying over, you know, downtown Dallas. Usually, I mean, we're out here in Denison flying over an old train station. I mean,
Right.
there isn't much going on, you know. It's
Yeah,
like one
yeah.
power line comes here, and then, you know, that's it.
Yeah,
so that's all we have to,
I think the police here wouldn't even know what to do with that.
Right.
They'd probably just be like, huh.
yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah.
So, yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah, the drones are really cool. They really changed the game as far as filmmaking, you know.
So, like, I think we've talked about this before, but, like, if you shoot, let's say, like, 10 minutes footage,
Mm-hmm.
like, to edit that down to where it's usable, how long does that take you?
If I don't procrastinate, probably a couple hours. You know.
Well, like the Keepers of the Craft video that you did on us, that final video is like, what, 12 minutes or something?
I think it's like, yeah, I think it's
Something like
I think
that?
it's like 8 or something.
Okay, so how long did that take you in editing?
Well, actually, just for that whole project, you know, concept, shooting with you, editing, sound, all that stuff, we did in like, I think it was 8 weeks, maybe. We just did it all in like 8
just
weeks.
round the clock working on it?
Not round the clock, but
Well,
you know,
what
it's
I
like,
Day in, day out?
right, you know, just a little bit here and there, you know, because there's other projects too, you know, you can't put all your focus into one project, as you know, like you got to kind of spread it out so you can keep motivated with everything, you know. It's like I can't work on, you know, Keepers of the Craft for 8 weeks and be, you know,
Not starved to death?
right.
Yeah.
I just
No, that's how we work too. It's like, we've got, at any given time, we've got a half a dozen things that we're juggling between.
right.
And,
I mean, that's how you keep inspired, I guess. Keep going. You don't get bored and burn out on every single project. So you just kind of mix it up so you don't.
Yeah. Do you hit sometimes where you're in a big project where you're just like, you start to lose enthusiasm and focus because it's just too much that you're in the middle of it? Or because I know that happens with me. I mean, sometimes I've taken on something so big that I'm like, it's a chore to get myself enthused again to get it wrapped.
Right. I mean, it's the exact same thing. Usually by the time I'm done shooting, I'm over it already. Because I've been shooting for several days.
Yeah.
And then that's why I work close with my wife and my brother. I can go out and shoot a piece and then drop it to my brother, drop it to Logan, and he hasn't seen any of the content, so it's fresh to him.
Right.
And he can be really motivated about it because it's
something
fresh,
new,
and then I'll basically take a break because I just got done shooting it, take a break, and then when he's done, I'll come in and we'll mess around with it, and I'll have motivation, and he's lost his motivation, and we just switch off, so we can keep inspired, with the project.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What motivated you to go into film?
Well, I've always been into video. I've always shot videos and stuff when I was in high school and stuff. I'd shoot. It was all in camera. There was no editing. I shot.
Right.
I'd shoot this shot and then the next shot. I was never really interested in being a filmmaker, and I just thought that there was no career. I was like, why would I do that? It's I don't know. It was just for fun. When I was younger. But then got out of the military, and I wanted to do some type of audio work. I wanted to do some audio design or engineering with musicians. And I check out the Art Institute. They didn't really offer sound at the time. It was 2 years before they would offer it. And they said that their film program had audio, so that's kind of, I was like, well, what the heck, I'll just get in here and start doing audio and just kind of do my own thing, just learn what I can, and started shooting video right out the door, and I love it, It's so instead of, just sticking with audio, now I do audio, I do video, I write, I direct, I edit, I color correct, so going to film school has taught me a lot.
Yeah,
what I mean, as far as I wanted to do just audio, now I can do all that stuff, and that's how I got into film, and that's how I grew that strong passion for it. So.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities with what you're doing with what we do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's one of the reasons it's been really fun working together on all these different projects that you filmed us doing. Is I think you've gotten it from the beginning, what we're all about and what we're doing, and you've been able to translate that in a way that it's been really cool.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just after working with you guys, I kind of seen how the craft is sitting right now, and the biggest thing is for me with working with you guys is I'm helping you guys keep the craft alive.
No, for sure. I mean, that video, the Keepers of the Craft video that you did, I mean, that's between YouTube and what's the other one? What's the big one? Vimeo. Yeah, I mean, between those two, it's been viewed, I haven't checked lately, but it's 50, 60,000 views.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. I think there's 30 on each,
Yeah.
And, those views really don't matter much to me. It's when you go down and you look at the comments and you see that there was one guy that's the video completely changed his life. He said I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing and go back to pursuing sign painting. I mean, that's great,
And I hear it all the time. I get emails from guys who are I've been working in a vinyl shop, but I started doing painting years ago, and I saw that video that you guys were in, and it was really motivational. And,
yeah, I mean, people love it. They're just I did not know, I didn't know about it, or, it's I gave it up, now I'm going back, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I think the story is pretty, I don't think our story is unique at all. I think there were a lot of guys that like came in while it was still paint, and then the vinyl thing just like changed everything and wiped out a lot. And, to survive, a lot of people did what I did, is just, you go to work at a vinyl shop and do what you got to do. But, then when there was opportunity to kind of rewrite the rules, it was like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to paint only, and I'm going to make it work. And, I think that I'm just one of many, many, many guys that I'm starting to discover that went through the same process and just finally just dug in their heels and said, no, I'm going to paint, And so, yeah, I mean, it's, I think especially now that because of the nature of the internet and social media, I think that video has just become massively powerful as probably the main way that people really communicate now. I mean, people statistically don't read, I mean, we read little paragraphs on news stories maybe, but, when you read the numbers of people who've read a book in the last year, it's like minuscule.
Nothing compared to views on
a
Kanye West video or something.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right.
But, we talked about that earlier, but we'll stay off the heavy subjects.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, cool, man. I'm really excited to see what you do with this Toadies video. I know you got a lot of cool footage, like that night that we all went down to the Panther Pavilion. We did that backstage stuff and them singing live, and I think it's going to be really cool. And then all of the footage that you got of us, working on the piece and doing the gold leafing, I think it'll be really neat.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Hopefully it can, supposedly we can put it out around the 9th, the 8th or 9th of September, but I'm going to try and see if I can put it out a little bit before. So we'll see. Yeah,
that would be, I'm really excited to see it. We'll be in Ireland at that same time that they're doing the album release in Fort Worth, but I've been talking with Clark from the Toadies through email today. He's going to come on the show probably next week, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of that. And then, unfortunately, Ireland's a far way away, but that would be really cool to have been able to get you guys involved in filming all that's going to happen out there. But logistics, what you going to do?
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, man.
Got to go to Ireland.
There you go. All right, well, thanks for coming on the show. I know it's probably a little uncomfortable to be on this side of it.
It's different.
Chris and Stu DeBell, or Dobell, or I'm not sure. Anyway, they're up in British Columbia, and I did an episode with them. They were one of the first ones I interviewed because I've known Chris for years. And they emailed me last week and said they came up with this idea that they want to do another episode where they interview me.
Nice.
So I feel your pain because I've been dreading that. Thinking, oh, God, I don't want to be on that side of it. But I'll do it.
But that would be cool, though.
It'll be a growing experience.
Yeah,
but
that would definitely be cool.
And I have faith in them that they won't be too terrible to me.
Right.
Yeah,
maybe, I interview all the time, so...
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe I could interview you one day on a podcast, but I interview you all the time on video. So
yeah, and I'm not that engaging in an interview.
Yeah, you do well.
Well,
I don't know how I sound. We'll see later, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like if our ratings plummet after this episode, then we know.
Right.
Nah.
Call this guy back.
It'll all be good. We're providing free entertainment. How much can people complain?
Right.
Today's episode of Coffee with a Sign Painter is brought to you by Full City Rooster Coffee Roasters in Dallas, Texas, roasting distinctive coffees from around the world. Sean drinks Full City Rooster coffee every day in the studio. You can order their coffee online at fullcityrooster.com. to Coffee with a Sign Painter, hosted by Sean Starr. You can find all sorts of info about the show and sign painting, including previous episodes, at our website, seanstarr.com.